Hello and welcome to the JumpCast, where we're having another book club special. I forgot what episode we're on. 62? 63?
63, I
Three.
believe.
63. And this is also another special one because we have our cameras on for today. Um, oh my God.
Ooh,
Um,
hello.
I'm just realizing, did we ever put what is it? The names to the faces? Because did we introduce ourselves properly with our
We might have.
I feel like we did
maybe
in the one episode where we actually had
maybe
our faces, but
We could always do
yeah,
it again.
people that listen consistently will also be able to tell the difference.
mhm.
But I'm Nick, and I'm joined by my two hosts, Max, and what is it, Max 1 and Max 2. Please
I'm
feel free to
Max.
introduce
Yeah, I'm Max
yourselves.
2.
I'm Max 1, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but since we're on break week with Jujutsu Kaisen, we thought, hey, we read other stuff. We do other things besides JJK.
No, that's all
Surprisingly,
we do.
I mean,
We
it
sit in our
has been
dark
up
room.
until this week.
Yeah. We sit in
But
our dark rooms every week, even on break week, just waiting. That's all we do. We
waiting
don't
for the
we
new
don't go
one.
to
Watch
we've lied
anime,
to you.
not
We don't go to
Kaisen.
school, we don't work, we don't do anything.
But
We just drink our
we're
energy.
gonna,
Energies.
yeah, we are going to show some different manga that we're reading currently and some things that what is it? You guys may be able to enjoy since we follow like the Jujutsu Kaisen like Sunday schedule when Viz officially releases the chapters. Um, these I believe all three of these manga you can technically read through Shonen Jump and or Viz. It's a little hard for I know Max one, but there's ways that you can read the thing that he's going to bring up. But I'll go first. And what I got, and I got it right here, is Black Clover. Show right up to the camera. Black Clover, I don't know if you're in like the zeitgeist of like anime and everything, you've probably heard of it before. Very cookie cutter shonen. It got a lot of shit when it was first released. I think the anime came out in like 2016, 2017, mainly just for it being like a Naruto clone. Which, in all honesty, it is. It's very similar. Like Naruto's whole premise is that he wants to be the Hokage, the leader of his nation. And it's the exact same thing here with the main character Asta. He wants to be quote unquote the Wizard King, very magic centric focus. Like most of the time when we're reading shonen, we know that it's just like it is the equivalent to wizards fighting like magic users, but they just like cut straight through all the bullshit. Like they are wizards. It is just straight up magic. Um, and it's fun. I don't know. If you like Naruto, I think it's a good read. Um, again, follows the same premise, has like a rival, very cookie cutter, cool teacher. That's the guy on the cover of this. Um, and some of the positive points that I'm gonna bring up with it, compared to like other shonen to read, is that again, it's like Naruto in the ways that there's a shit ton of content to read. I think that here in English, they're on volume 34, which is a lot of chapters. I don't know what it is on the Shonen Jump app. Um, and it kind of has like the same world building, like divided nations. It covers like terrorist groups and stuff. And the art's pretty fun. Very different from like Jujutsu Kaisen or Naruto, like sort of that older and newer stuff. It kind of has its own place. And it's also a continuing series. It's a little hard to get new chapters because it used to release in Weekly Shonen Jump, and now I think it's in Jump Giga, which is a quarterly releasing manga. So the last chapter came out last year in December, but there are new ones coming out. But yeah, that's my rambling. Do you guys have any questions or anything so far?
Um
Uh,
Nope,
you'll go
not
first,
at
Max.
all.
okay. So when you say, I mean, I know you touched lately on how similar it is to Naruto, but are there also, I guess from a character standpoint, is it also a similar thing? Cuz I vaguely remember hearing um bits and pieces about the plot where Asta, the main
Mhm.
character, um is not a wizard and can't use magic.
Yes, but so he can't use magic. He has his own form. He has a really, I'm not going to get into the writing because sometimes the writing is a little cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't use magic, but his abilities that he has anti-magic, like pretty early on in the series. So he has like a gigantic claymore. It was inspired by Berserk, like when Miura died, the creator Yuki Tabata, he's like, I wanted to make Berserk but a shonen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so then the claymore is inspired. It's big, heavy, and he has the strength to wield it. And since he doesn't have magic, he can wield it. Um, like one of the characters like picks up the sword and just like this is draining my magic drastically. Like I can't hold this for too long or I'm fucked. Um, so that's like the slightest difference, but again, it kind of relates to him having a devil in him, which is the same thing with Naruto. Like there's a devil in him that I think that he eventually learns to cooperate with. I haven't gone super far in the manga. I think I'm around, well, I'm on volume 9. I don't know what that is chapter wise, but I think that may be like in the 90s or like the early 100s out of like 300 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's connected. I guess I also like Asta because I love Toji and it kind of works on the same premise of like I don't have your abilities, but fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want
Is it
anyways.
like Toji where he's like related to like a noble family at all, or is it just he's just some dude?
So far I
Excuse me.
don't know, but he is just some dude. He came from an orphanage.
Oh, I like that. That's
Um
pretty
yeah,
sick.
again, kind of the same thing like Naruto didn't know his family until later, and then he figured out that like his father was also the leader of his nation at one point. Um, but it's like that underdog where everyone is like thinking like, oh, this is they go into class a lot specifically with this series. Like there are nobles and then there are peasants. Like there's complete class differences, and they point out like he's a peasant with no magic. How will he become Wizard King? And he always like is like, I'm never giving up. So
And that is the ultimate goal.
yeah, very inspirational.
Mm.
Never give up on your dreams. Um, but yeah, it's fun. It's an enjoyable read, surprisingly. Um, I, and again, there's a lot of it. So if you need a time waster and just need like a good cookie cutter shonen, it's a good thing to watch.
How does the I don't want to say like one's better than the other. How does the art compare to like I guess because you mentioned Naruto, how does it compare to a series like that? Is it
Uh,
similar or I mean every artist has their own style, of course, but
so that's also like a hard thing to put. So like early Naruto is very hard to read because Kishimoto is like trying to figure out his art style and he's not traditionally an artist, he's a writer. Um he's pointed that out numerous times and like near the end of the series he just stopped drawing it, I think. I think that he had his assistants do it while he wrote the story. Um while as this one like it's a good art style. It's very like I would say like fine tip pen. Like um my best way to explain it, going back to JJK, like you know at the beginning of the series it looked like he did it in like Sharpie.
mhm. Like the
Um
really angular, like thick lines type deal.
yeah, this one is like almost like if it's done in pencil or very fine tip pen.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
I find a good spot even if I could show it. I don't know if I'm even allowed to show it, but yeah, it's yeah, very fine tip, almost pencil, I'd say,
Mhm.
in comparison. While as like Naruto has like a really old 90s art style, then it looks exactly like the anime after a certain point, and then like his assistants work on it. So,
Hmm. Cool.
um, yeah, um, yeah, that's all I have. I recommend it, and again, it's on Shonen Jump. It's that the subscription for Shonen Jump, I'm gonna go on a little tangent, is such a bang for your buck. Like $3 a month to read whatever you want. I know that's like capped at 100 chapters a day, but that's
But you're
literally
not gonna yeah.
like 9 to 10 volumes. So yeah.
Gotta love Shonen
Anyways,
Jump.
yeah. I just realized we didn't figure out who we want to have for the next person go.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Here, I'm gonna
I was gonna
figure it
say
out
make sure to
right
do rock,
now.
paper, scissors for it.
Flip a coin.
Yeah,
Flip
dude.
a
Call
coin.
it.
Here, I'll do it. Okay, who's gonna be heads? Who's gonna be tails?
Do you want to call it, Max?
I'm gonna go heads.
Heads. Okay. Okay. Max one goes first.
All right. So, the series I brought today is Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk is written by Takue Inoue. To you two and our audience, that name may be pretty familiar. Takue Inoue also wrote Vagabond, and I believe Climber is the other one. So
Climber is done by someone else.
It's not Climber, but there's another one he did. I
It's called
think
Real.
Real. That's it.
He's done Real and like a couple other smaller basketball manga.
Yeah, but so Slam Dunk. So he also wrote Vagabond, so a lot of people will recognize that. So this was, from what I found, this was his first series. So Slam Dunk is about basketball, since he has a love for basketball. And it was written. Sorry, I have my notes here. It first started in '91. So it's very old, and then it stopped, I think, in '96. So it's pretty, I guess, short. Only have like a 5-year runtime, 6 years. So, the story follows. Let me pull up my other notes here. The of Hanamichi Sakuragi, I think is how you say his name. That is this gentleman here. So he's kind of he just started high school and he's a teenager. That is trying, he's a teenager, he's trying to get a girlfriend. So he's been rejected by like 50 girls, like consecutively, and that's kind of what he's known for in his school. That, and also he's known for like fighting people. Like people think he's part of a gang because he's got like the pompadour, and the school uniform he wears looks like one. But so one of the girls at his school that he starts talking to, Hakaru Akagi, did not reject him outright, and she was kind of nice to him. So he kind of was like, "Oh, I'm in love with her," and he finds out that she likes this guy called Katie. Katie, I think is how you say his name. I'm not even gonna say his last name. I don't want to butcher it that bad. But so he is a star basketball player from his middle school, and so she likes him because he plays basketball. And so our main character, Hanamichi, is very athletically talented. He's a very athletic person. And so he decides, well, I'm going to be, as he puts it, I'm going to be a basketball man. And I'm going to go play basketball so she'll fall in love with me. And that is kind of the premise of the first one, at least where the first one ends off. And so him joining the team, and I'm just going on a tangent here. He's probably, of course, going to learn to love basketball other than just for the girl. But so this was like Takue Inoue's first project. Very cool. The art style, you can probably tell from this, is very 90s as opposed to something like Vagabond. But I found photos later on where it does look like that style that Vagabond is, where it's kind of like the brush dictates where the line gets thick and where the line ends. It's that kind of style. The big thing I noticed was like, so that was the style of the people, but the shoes, because in basketball, I don't know if you guys follow it, but in basketball, the shoes are like, it's a big deal what you wear. And so all the shoes are very detailed. There's no logos, but they are, you can tell if someone's wearing Jordans or whatever. So yeah, it's very, very good. I think a very easy read, very funny as opposed to Vagabond. It's not as serious so far. But yeah, the only thing is I could not find it legally online. I don't think it's part of. I couldn't find it on Shonen Jump or Viz at all, but it was published through Viz and Shonen Jump when it was released. They did just start reprinting the physical copies. So if you want to go buy a physical copy, you can do that. You can also, if you prefer to watch something, you can always go watch it on Crunchyroll. It is a 90s anime, so I watched the first episode. It's very rough to watch. It's very, how
I haven't
90s
heard
is.
the best things about
Yeah, it's
anime.
the best way to describe it's very 90s. It's very, I guess, like over the top. I don't know, like you guys know when you think of like a 90s anime, that's not like shonen, like a fantasy or battle shonen. You think of like I don't know, a rom com, and that you think of a rom com from the '90s, and you basically got what Slam Dunk is. But it's very good, and there's very good characters. Takao Ino does make references to actual teams. Of course, he's making references to Michael Jordan. Of course, he draws himself in one scene wearing Chicago Bulls jersey, and even players of the time like Karl Malone. So it's kind of cool to see him actually make references to real people and actual, believe they are, but references to people that were on the national Japan team at the time of him writing it. So it's very cool to see actual historical figures be used in a series. So I don't know. I don't know what else to. There's a movie. Oh, that's something else. Sorry, I had my notes very poorly. I didn't write them in order of talking. I just wrote notes. There's a movie out in Japan. Came out at the end of 22. There's still no actual release date in the U.S. So still look out for that. It's really cool. Takao Ino actually did work on it, or helped work on it. So it is pretty true to form of like the art style of what he wanted. And like most anime movies, they keep outdoing each other. So this was it won it's called the first Slam Dunk, and it won the Japanese Academy Prize for Animation of the Year in 23, and it grossed over $279 million worldwide, becoming one of the highest grossing anime movies of all time. So up there with like stuff like the Demon Slayer movie, Jujutsu Kaisen, Boy and the Herring, Evangelion stuff. So yeah. I don't know. I didn't really have too much else to
I've
talk about.
I've seen bits of the Slam Dunk movie because it's also 3D, but it's like very well done 3D.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really interesting because it looks it's 3D animation, but it still has that like hand drawn appeal, I guess, or it looks hand drawn. So it's really cool to see how far animation and art has come. So
yeah,
How does it
and
Oh, sorry, Nick, go.
oh no, it's all good. The one thing I was going to point out is that it is only available in physical form, but you can buy it through like most regular stores like
yeah,
Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
you can buy Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I mean, most manga volumes like these ones are $10, I think. So it's not a bad thing. And I mean, if you're into collecting, I'd turn my camera around. But if you're into collecting stuff like this, like I am, it's perfect. Because I think there's 30 volumes in total. Sorry, I had it. There's 279 chapters, and there's 31 volumes that are like, of course, the stereotypical size. So if you like collecting, there's quite a bit.
Sorry, Max, you go on ahead.
Oh yeah. How does it compare? I know there's like a billion video essays on YouTube about this, but
Mhm.
in your perception, how does the story compare to Vagabond?
Okay, I've only read. I literally right before we recorded started the third volume, so I don't have the biggest grasp on the story. It's very weak, I'd say. It's very boring compared so far. I mean, maybe once if Hakamichi, I think that's how you say his name. I don't. I'm very bad with names, and I'm dyslexic. Audience, that is my excuse. Um, he is not the greatest character so far, in my opinion. He's literally just doing this to get a girl. And I mean, maybe we're gonna see him because like the team captain is the older brother of the girl he likes. So his dream is to go and win nationals because the team is not the greatest. Like it's if you've read or seen or heard of Haikyuu, kind of similar to that, of like it's like the underdog tale. They're not a great team, but they got this really good player, and then they got Hakamichi or Hanamichi, and they're looking really good for the year. So it's very weak in my opinion so far. I mean, I haven't really got into the stuff. They haven't even played a game against another team yet, but it's still a fun read. Vagabond is like very intense, I'd say, compared to this. So, but they're both good. I mean, if you like sports, you'll like this. If you like basketball or sports in general, I think you'd like this one. Or just if you like shonen in general, I think you'd like this. It'd be a nice change from something like Jujutsu Kaisen. That's very dark.
Yeah. That is good to know actually that it is really lighthearted and and kind of like a something that doesn't make you want to
Cam,
rethink everything. Nick's cam is freaking
Nick's
out.
tweaking out.
I
out
know.
there,
I'm
dude.
sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix this here. I'll continue on. I'm gonna fix this in just 1 second.
You're good.
But it's like I'm assuming like Blue Lock and Haikyuu, if they lose a game, they're gonna be like, oh, my world's over. Oh, why would I ever do this? Like that sort of thing. So there's still gonna be like quote unquote stakes to losing a game. But they're not gonna be like stakes as in like Blue Lock stakes. Also, I guess that's why I talked about Slam Dunk. I gotta keep the sports theme going. So but the art style is, like I said, very 90s so far, but there are examples of it looking really good. I think it's still really cool. I think for like a 90s series, it looks really good. And everyone's drawn, all the characters are drawn really well. Takao Ino is really good with backgrounds. And I mean, if you've read Vagabond at all, you know that those are really cool. He's done a good job with those, but he's done a really good, I mean, with like a school setting, they're very detailed for what you're looking at.
I also know that it was like one of the most popular series in the 90s.
Yeah, it was really big
Like
because like we
that
talked about
and
it. Yeah,
Dragon Ball, like in the history of Shonen Jump, like those were like the last two big things before like the big three came out, which was like One Piece, Naruto, and
Naruto and
Bleach.
Bleach. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's got a lot of history behind it. I know that after it came out, like everyone was freaking out, like, what am I gonna read next? And they're just like, maybe I'm gonna drop Shonen Jump because there's nothing else coming out.
yeah.
It's like the last big sports manga before Haikyuu for Shonen Jump. Like, of
Because
course,
there's been a
nobody ever
few in
talked
between,
about
but yeah, they've
Sentai.
not been as big. And kind of like effects on people of the series. I read that I don't. There was not an exact stat, of course, but it really increased in Japan alone people's interest in basketball. Like basketball teams in high schools and junior highs, like the people trying out for the teams like shot up. And I mean, like I think basketball clothing, like I don't know, like the basketball shoes and like the shorts and stuff a lot of the players wear at the time, like shot up, the sales of those shot up too. So
That'd be an
Yeah.
interesting thing to research, like what the effects of, I guess, just specifically in fashion, what effect, how much of an effect each manga, like each key manga in the history of manga, has had on the pop culture in Japan, and like how that's affected streetwear today.
Mhm.
Would be really interesting to look into. Maybe that's a video essay I need to make or something. I don't know.
yeah, you could do some research and do another look into that. But yeah. So yeah, sad. Like I said, sadly, it's not close with again. Sadly, it's not legally anywhere digitally. Please don't go pirate. We don't like that. We like to support the official release. So you can read it. What you could do if you got a bunch of buddies, you all pool in the money to buy them, and then you share them. That's the way to do it. Because sharing is caring. It's very important.
You might also be able to find them at your library.
Yeah, it's old enough that I think it would
Yeah.
be. You could probably find it out there. So
I know for me, at the very least, I think I have. I think it's the first 4 volumes are at my university library. So it's like, I have a feeling it's going to be at most public libraries, at least in most major cities.
And I mean, you can also, like most libraries, if you really want it and the library doesn't have it, you can put in a thing and the library will go get them.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they have request forms and such.
So there's plenty of resource. I think there's plenty of resources out there for you to be able to. I don't know, read or consume this great series. So yeah,
Cowabunga. Okay.
I'll definitely have to steal your volumes
Yeah, exactly.
once you're
I'll
done.
I'll ship them to you, Max, so you can read them.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I keep getting.
Also,
getting
my
spam
camera's just
emails.
not gonna work.
That's
I want
fine.
to point that out. I think I'll just keep it off for right now, but
Okay.
Yeah, no
I
worries.
tried.
Rip.
I got the first part.
Okay. So I guess I'll go with mine next. So unfortunately, I don't have a physical copy of this manga, but doesn't mean I don't love it, and doesn't mean that I won't be collecting it soon. Um, it has 9 volumes so far and 105 chapters. It is available on Shonen Jump, coming out, I think, every 2 weeks. It depends, but that manga is Kaiju number 8. I probably a lot of people who are within the zeitgeist of manga and anime as a larger thing have heard about the series.
Here, Max. I thought I had
Thank
it.
you.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's I find it really interesting. It's a shonen. It's very much a like kind of lighthearted, well, not necessarily lighthearted, but not super gory, very superpower monster. I mean, it is called Kaiju number 8. It's literally about kaijus. But basically, let me go over actually what the story's about. So basically, kaiju as a whole have been appearing in Japan for a while now, and to fight back, the Japanese military has created a defense corps which fights against these kaiju. And then after the defense corps goes through and beats the crap out of the kaiju, and like the corpses are just laying across cities, there are people called sweepers who come up and come and clean up all the stuff. So that's who our main character is, Kafka Hibino. He's 32, an old guy, and he it's kind of like that classic, it's not necessarily a classic trope, but that thing where he's very much dissatisfied with where he is in life, and he really wants to change. And initially he wanted to join the defense corps to kill kaijus for a living, but after failing several times, he gave up on his dreams. And then he oh right, yeah. Basically, the catalyst that makes him decide to start trying to join the corps again is when a really young recruit joins his cleaning team and kind of reignites his spark to join the military. So he goes through the whole training arc to, become capable enough to join the defense corps. But before that happens, during one of his like cleanups, he ingests a parasite that is spawned from a kaiju, and he becomes this humanoid monster kaiju fusion thing, which is the monster that you see on the cover of the first volume. So basically, he gains this ability to swap back and forth from a human and a kaiju, and using these two forms, he's like trying to navigate his way through the world, stay undetected, but then also try and help people as much as he can. So in this world, there are like tons of kaiju that just pop up every day that the defense corps takes care of, and then there are numbered kaiju who are especially powerful. And this is getting into spoiler territory, so if you want to, like, I don't know, I'll put a timestamp or something to skip ahead. But this is like more main stuff that's going on right now. What ends up happening is, after more and more of the numbered kaiju start appearing after Kafka becomes quote unquote kaiju number 8, I think it's kaiju number 9, if I remember correctly. Let me double check, actually. I'm pretty sure, but one of the kaiju show up and is sentient, and number 9. I think it's number 9. Yes, number 9. Kaiju number 9 reveals itself to become like the main antagonist of the series, and it's kind of like this sentient evil being that is actually secretly in control of all of the kaiju and is like making them, which is actually a pretty compelling story structure as a whole. I will say that now that the spoilers are over, the story as a whole, I feel like isn't the most unique necessarily. Like it's very much a classic, like overcome the voice in your head, like be like realize your dreams type of thing. That's very consistent in shonen. Um, and also like the characters aren't necessarily super unique either. They all feel kind of like caricatures of other common characters, but that also just could be because I'm studying this, like I'm studying storytelling. So it could just be me being redundant in my own head. But the characters do eventually flesh themselves out as we learn more of their backstories, and they do become pretty engaging and pretty well thought out. I would say. I think where the series is right now, it's kind of in the middle of a very tense moment, you could say. Yeah. I think tense is a good way of putting it. A very big event is happening in chapter 105. But yeah, I really do love this series overall because it is one of those things, kind of like Slam Dunk, that is slightly more lighthearted in comparison. I love always reading things that make me want to, kind of kill myself, but that's just me. So for me, this is lighthearted, but it is less gory. It doesn't cover super heavy topics. It is very much just it kind of feels Marvel-esque, if that makes sense, where it's
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, hard and colorful.
I've read like a few chapters. That's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah, it just feels very superhero, and that's fine. Like it's entertaining, but it's nothing that's gonna be like mind-bendingly groundbreaking. Like, I mean, like the art, like Slam Dunk to a certain extent, or like Vagabond, or like Vinland Saga, or anything like that, where it's like such an incredible
culture defining. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
media, yeah, whatever term,
whatever one you want to use. This is something that people are gonna consume and then maybe forget about. Not necessarily forget, but it's not gonna be groundbreaking from what I can tell. It's still very early on. Like this series. Let me actually double check when this started coming out.
It came out 2021 or 2020, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
it's a relatively new series.
Yes.
And it just got an anime
Yes.
adaptation that is still continuing right now.
Yes. The first episode literally released yesterday on the 13th.
Oh.
So I haven't watched that yet, but I will be watching it. It looks like it's got that 3D animation that's a little bit goofy, but honestly, I'm willing to give it a shot.
I know that this scared some people as well when they first announced it, because like Shonen Jump has like these little events where they release all their new projects, and they showed a trailer for that. I think they showed that, and then they also showed a trailer for Dan,
Yeah.
which I think is coming out later, actually pretty soon. Wait, no, October of this year.
Right.
Yeah, look, I just pulled it up on Crunchyroll. Actually, like the animation is like that I don't know if I call it like a modern 2D, but also a little 3D. Like the fights are probably going to be 3D.
The rotoscoping.
Yeah,
that's the term.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we like having a film major with us.
Yeah, exactly.
All the terms.
Yeah. I remember when this series was first coming out, like there's a little bit of hype behind it, mainly because like I think the first chapter is really compelling because of course like Shonen Jump is like built for like younger people, but like the series I think connected to some people's hearts because like the guy is like 37, right? He is like older compared to most other protagonists, so like seeing him go to like a 9 to 5 job equivalent. I mean, like he's a janitor is the best way to. He's a janitor trying to clean up in those sort of situations. So to see him try to like
Heal
follow
his
his
inner
dreams
child.
again after like being in the
Yeah.
gutter and just being like, oh, life didn't work out for me. And it's just like you can still change.
Right.
Change your fate. That
Jane.
shit.
I get
Um,
that one,
Change
yeah.
your fate. Ooh, yeah.
yeah. I think that that was compelling for some people. I thought about reading it as well at one point, but you get sidetracked.
Yeah.
I may give the anime a shot, especially because like it condenses content down. Anime watching is really good when you're just like trying to pass some time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I will
yeah,
give my review of the anime next episode so that people know if it's mid or not.
it's, if it's worth.
Yeah, worth.
Um, I can say that the Black Clover anime is also like it's a you can binge it, but it's also not the best quality. There's definitely some rough animation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
and
yeah.
again, it's so long that it's one of those series that you may like not want to go through all of it. Like watching something like that can be really time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm really one of those sorts of people that like I don't know. Being an adult now, it's really hard to watch a long-term show. Like the last show that I really spent all my time on was like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
Um, and even then I kind of dropped part six, so that's something to worry about.
Yeah. I'm in
I'll
the
be
same
the
boat.
only negative Nancy. Don't watch the Slam Dunk anime. Go read it. It's bad.
That's what I hear as well. Follow
Yeah.
follow the internet's opinion of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But also, make your own opinion too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Try it out.
But it could
Maybe some
like
people love it. Is
yeah,
the
like
best thing you
I'll
haven't
probably try
watched.
watching it more, but personally from my opinion it doesn't seem super interesting or not interesting. It doesn't seem as good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Book club.
Like the reading rainbow thing. Like the more you know.
We will definitely be trying to do this more, especially because it forces me to have to actually read new stuff instead of just sitting and waiting for the JJK chapter to come out and being all antsy and then trying to predict it for a whole week and then not
Leaks.
do anything.
Leaks.
No, this will
Leaks,
be good.
leaks.
I have my nice shelf of stuff of manga, and then I have a shelf over here of the stuff I bought that looked interesting. And I read 2 chapters of the volume, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll force me to read. It'll actually start me to
Bro,
make me start reading
okay.
stuff.
Small thing. If any of you guys who are watching this right now are reading Astro Baby and think it's good, I hate you.
Astro Baby?
Astro
Astro-
Baby. It
Is
legitimately
it the new one that just released
it's
today?
one of the no, I don't know if it came out today. No,
Astro Royale.
no, not Astro Royale. Astro Baby sucks. I'm gonna test out. I'm gonna see what Astro Royale is the one that did come out today, and I'm curious if that's decent or not. But
Astro Baby. Is this like a dystopian kind of looking
Is this
one?
also like this looks like a Jump
it's
Plus
just
series.
it's just lame. It's weird. It's some like I'll literally here. Well, I'll put it up on the screen in a second, but it's just like this singular panel or rather page just describes the entire series and why it's weird as fuck.
No, this series whack. They actually use the word
I will say
Yeah,
the opening panels are great.
the opening ones are cool.
And then it's just
Yeah, and the art style is interesting looking. Yeah.
What the heck? I mean, the art style doesn't look too bad, but what is the
it's
series?
so weird. It's
What
so
the
weird.
heck, brother? Um, what the heck?
These are long
This is
chapters too.
weird.
Yeah.
79 pages. Yeah.
What the heck, dude? This stuff's just weird. Yeah, I'm not the series for me. I admire what is it, Max? I admire that you just try to read the new series that pop up on the Shonen Jump app. Because there was like the strawberry one, I forgot what
Oh
was the name.
yeah. What was it called?
Just going back to
I have to find Wild Strawberry.
Wild Strawberry. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was good for like the first 2 chapters, and then it just turns into just generic manga. And I could be
Yeah.
wrong. It could end up becoming better and becoming like a serious hidden gem. Like the art style is really cool, but just the story is just boring.
It looks good, yeah.
It has very beautiful art style.
Mhm.
I will admit that.
Yeah, that the cover page, I guess, on the Shonen Jump app looks gorgeous. Yeah.
Yep. So I guess
Maybe someone will like that though.
we should end there. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for watching
Sure.
the book club
I'll
today.
hold
I
them
know it's
up.
a little different. I think JJK is coming out again next week. Let me just double check.
It
So
said, yeah,
God,
chapter
I
out
hope
in
so.
8 days yesterday, so
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
be
on our
back.
regular schedule, we're gonna see Yuji just destroy in the next chapter. But uh yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Like, comment, subscribe, all that other regular YouTube stuff. Yeah. Bye bye.